Good morning, friends, and welcome from sharetrading.school.com. Today, 28 Jan 2019. We are going to discuss on Nifty trading strategy. We have been publishing about Nifty trading strategy through our website, sharetrading.school.com website here in free Nifty trading strategy analysis. In the last analysis, what we have discussed, I'll just quickly share with you. Here we have been following two charts. One is hourly chart of Nifty and one is daily chart of Nifty. Basically, through chart, when we were publishing, we were just giving a support and resistance level and probably targets, which were mentioned through the numbers. And sometime that analysis is published through the charts, and it has a limitation when we write on a chart. So that is the reason today I'm going to discuss with you through the video. Now I'll just quickly take you through the last analysis, and where we have mentioned that if you see, this is Nifty hourly chart, and we said that 10,800 will be acting as a support here. And these two trend lines which we have plotted were shown by these two arrows, red arrows, will be acting as a resistance for Nifty. But final resistance will be of 10,930 here, shown by this arrow. This was analysis done through hourly chart of Nifty. So 10,930 will be acting as a resistance. So here we have mentioned that 10,930 will act as a resistance, and probably 10,800 should act as a support. Here, as per daily chart analysis, we have been talking about support level here of these two moving averages. There was a invalid crossover which we have discussed much prior to last week. And this is a trend line which we have plotted. This trend line and these moving averages both have acted as a support. So expected support is taken, and now we are expecting a pullback. So these two things, as per daily and hourly chart, our analysis were telling that 10,930 should act as a resistance. And if you see the actual chart here, in yesterday's Nifty's performance, rather last trading session's performance, market opened and exactly 10,930, this level which we have plotted, dotted line. If you see again, in here we have mentioned this by this dotted line, exactly that resistance has tested in the initial first hour itself, and after that market started coming down. So that was the highest value. If you see, the high of the day was 10,931.70, and then market started coming down. 10,800 level, which we were discussing about support level here, was breached, and after that again retested as a resistance. So in last hour, Nifty had retested at 10,900 and 10,797, so almost 10,800 level, which it has breached, has been retested as a resistance. So this is what we were expecting, and it happened in the studies analysis. Now question is, what will be today's performance of Nifty? So looking into the current chart in hourly as well as in daily chart, if you see the in daily chart, Nifty has tested this support, but if you zoom in, then you can see that this trend line which we have plotted here, this trend line, it has just closed above trend line, but as far as moving average is concerned, this is just closed below those moving averages. So this is what it is showing, that probably the much expected support has been breached, except this trend line there is no support. Now to understand what can happen today, I'll just take you through the small analysis, and for that what I'll do is I'll just change this formation from bar chart to line chart, so that we can easily understand next support level of Nifty. For that, I'll be just quickly plotting a few trend line here. In my view, now I'm plotting a small support line. We cannot call it as a trend line because I'm joining lower lows, and that is a reason this is just a support line, and I am expecting this support line which Nifty has respected currently. This support has been tested, so probably this support line, again I'm plotting because I just missed this. So this is a support line which I think we should act as a support and then pull back. 10,800 level, this can show a pullback, and probably this can be seen very clearly if you convert it into bar chart. So in bar chart you can see that it has respected quite a lot time. So once I change it into line chart, probably you may not be able to understand why here this area you may think that it has not tested and not taken a support. However, if I change it into bar, then you can see that every time it has touched or penetrated, it tried to close above this line. So this line has been respected by Nifty, and that's what we have seen in the last hour itself. Now coming to the one more trend line, which is market has been respecting it from last October. I'll just quickly plot one more trend line from this level. Again, I'll just change it to line chart because sometime in bar chart probably penetrations through trend line can happen. So I have just converted into line chart, and then from this is low. This is the lowest close of Nifty in the past, and I'm just taking this is this bottom, which is immediately lowest bottom of Nifty. I just joined those, and we have seen that this has been respected again and again, and now I'll just change it to bar chart so that we can see that how many time it has tested support. Here again we can see that you may think that Nifty has not taken a support here, but if we change it to bar chart, we can easily see that yes, it has tested a support. Now in current scenario, if you see here in this area, this line has been tested many times and closed much beyond this. So in my view, this trend line will be considered as a very important trend line for Nifty, and this is followed by Nifty since October. So I just converted into green trend line because this was a uptrend line. Now we have already penetrated this trend line which Nifty has been respecting since October. First time it has breached. So this is a very serious issue for Nifty. Now once this trend line is reached, we can see that the trend is changed. As such, if you see the chart, it is showing us almost lower highs and lower lows, plus trend line support has been breached, plus past accumulation which we were expecting, this support has been breached. So in my view, this trend line being a very important trend line, which now just now we have plotted and change it into green, Nifty should come and retest it as a resistance. So generally support should be converted into resistance. This is what and this is what happens basically when we call it as a support and resistance. So this is a tendency of market that if market is testing support here for trend line, again once it breaches that support, very basic requirement of this is there should be a role reversal of support. So this should be retested as a resistance and then come down. So this retesting can happen today. Nifty may come back to this trend line somewhere here. Somewhere here it may retest it as a resistance and then come down. If this happens, then crossing this line or crossing below this will give us opportunity to go short, and then that time we will keep this level as a support level. So in that case 10,700 can be considered as our next target if at all Nifty crosses yesterday's low, or even to be precise somewhere this trend line which we have just plotted. So what you will have to do is you will have to take 18th Jan high and just take this yesterday's low and just plot a line here and just wait for Nifty to cross this line and go further south. That time you can go short for a target of 10,700. One more strategy can be designed is once Nifty retest here, this will be little risky strategy, but those people who can take a risk or a compulsive trader can go ahead with it. They can, once they see that Nifty is coming to this trend line which you can plot from joining this bottom and this bottom, and in early chart, and if you see this trend line is tested, and in early chart or in at least 30-minute chart, if you see a bearish bar forming, the moment that first bearish bar low is breaches, you just go short, and then one more time you will get an opportunity once it breaches this trend line. So you can one more lot you can go short once it crosses this. So there are two strategies: either you will have to wait for this trend line to breach, or you can go short here if at all Nifty forms a bearish bar, and keep your stop loss somewhere here. If it crosses this level, that is 10,860 level, and then cover all your short. So this is a strategy for Nifty today, and thanks for friends for watching this video, and wishing you best of luck. Good day.